Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Iron Kisses. Bald head, sorry. My name is Bill Gabelhausen, and I am the department chair of theater here, and I also have the privilege and honor to be the professor who teaches Theater 4460, also known as the Senior Project or Senior Capstone course. And if you're new to us and not familiar with what a capstone might be, it is a project that every undergraduate student at Piedmont College does. It's a thesis project, if you will, but it is a culmination of their 4 years here. And every theater student is different, so every project is a little different. Some choose to direct, like Becca has done, some design. The field is vast, but it's always exciting because these are their babies. I mean, I just come in and watch rehearsals every once in a while, help if they need it, which they rarely do. And these belong to the students, which is incredibly inspiring to me as an educator. So what you're seeing tonight is basically Becca's final exam in the course, and she has chosen to direct the play Iron Kisses, which she'll talk to you about very briefly. And I also think it's incredibly exciting that not only is this her capstone performance, but it's also her birthday, but don't sing to her. It makes her very mad. I tried to do it twice today and it wasn't pretty. So happy birthday to Becca. We have a lot. Becca is actually the kickoff this semester of many capstones to come. I'm going to rattle down these quickly. T. Morris Thompson on April 23rd on the main stage will present hers. Lee Ward, April 26th in the Black Box. Deshaun Crawford, weather permitting, May 1st in the amphitheater. Terrence Ogden, May 3rd in the Black Box. A dual musical theater capstone, Aubrey Pete and Tony Atoa, May 4th on the main stage, followed by another music theater capstone in the Black Box, May 5th by Caitlin Eccles and Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but our first ever arts administration with a concentration in theater capstone by Grace Lyman Barner.
You got it.
Kind of date to be determined. So Becca's kicking us off. And without further ado, the lovely and talented Rebecca James.
Wow, hi everybody. Welcome to my capstone and thank you guys for coming. Before we begin the show, there are a few housekeeping things. Please make sure to silence all your cell phones and no flash photography as it is distracting to our actors. If you need to use the restroom during the show, ladies, your restroom is right down this hall on the right. And gentlemen, unfortunately, you have to walk all the way through this lobby, across the main stage lobby, and down the hall, and it's the first door on the right. Sorry about that. This show does have some sensitive content, so if at any time you feel the need to excuse yourself, the exits are the door you came through and this exit right over here. You can use that one, but you will get wet because it's raining. And there is no intermission, and the show runs about an hour. I came across this script last year when I went to Kathy and I was like, I have no idea what I want to do for my capstone, please help me. And she sent me home with 2 scripts, and Iron Kisses was the first one that I read. And the second that I put it down, I couldn't stop thinking about everything that I could do with this play. And I tried to read the second one that she gave me, but the whole time I just couldn't focus on what I was reading because I was just thinking so much about how much I love this play. So here we are, a year later, about to watch Iron Kisses, and I'm actually going to sit right there and watch it with you guys. So without further ado, please enjoy Iron Kisses.
Well, it's a wedding invitation. Anyone can see that. It was mixed up in the mail with a visa bill and a newsletter from my church. I could tell it was a wedding invitation right away because it was the only envelope with a handwritten address. The stamp is one of those love stamps. My son used to collect stamps. He'd say that getting a stamp from some faraway place meant that he was going to get to go there someday. He probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but for years I kept a picture that Billy drew when he was just a little boy. It was Billy's self-portrait. He drew all these yellow squiggly lines, which I thought was supposed to be his hair. But I asked him, why did you draw your self-portrait with yellow hair? And he said, that's not my hair, Mom. That's my happiness. He signed it, to Mommy. Love, Billy.
When I got home from work that day, there was the usual pile of mail on the kitchen table. See, my wife usually puts the mail in order of how she thinks I want to read it. At the bottom of the pile, there was this unopened envelope. It's from my son, Bill. Well, Bill. He always had very distinctive handwriting. Not feminine, just distinctive. When he was first learning his cursive handwriting, he spent hours a day doing it. He asked him what he was doing, he'd say, just practicing.
I was never the type of mom to go snooping through their kids' private stuff, you know. But this was just a notebook. Billy was just a little boy. I don't even think I meant to look at it. Maybe Billy wanted me to see it. Maybe God wanted me to see it. I don't know. But the pages just fell open, and I saw pages and pages filled with Billy's perfect 8-year-old handwriting. It was the same phrase written over and over again. Billy loves Jason. Pages and pages of Billy loves Jason. I don't have a problem with Billy being gay. I don't. It's just the fact that he likes men that makes me uncomfortable.
When Billy told me that, when Billy told me that he was homosexual, I asked him when it happened, or, how it happened, or what turned him that way. He said, Dad, I've always been that way. He said, even when you're a kid, he said, Dad, when you're a kid, you don't know there's a name for it. You just love who you love.
I used to have this dream. I'd have it several times. It was Billy, and he was the groom, and the bride was some girl I didn't know. But you knew that they were going to have beautiful children. You know, the thing about weddings is, people say they're for the parents. That's one thing about all this gay marriage stuff. It's that the weddings aren't for the parents. They're for the people getting married. And that just scares me. You know, my thing is that I like Billy, I do. It's just, most parents only dream of having a son as perfect as Billy. You can imagine them saying things like, my child's perfect, there's nothing I'd change about it. Well, when parents say that, they don't really mean that their kids are perfect. They mean that they're proud of who they are and how they've turned out. And I am proud of Billy, I am. I just wish he was exactly the way he was, just not gay. I told him one time when we were going through a difficult period with him, I told him I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings, I was just being honest. And he said, if I loved him because he was gay. Because that's just who he is. And he said, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, I'm just being honest. We didn't talk for nearly 6 months after that.
Billy and Michael, they've lived together for years. We've even had them in our home several times. They come and visit us when they can. See, they're very busy. Billy's had a couple of his friends over, but to be honest with you, I never really liked any of them. They were hard to talk to. And I hate to admit it, but when they'd leave, it was kind of a relief. But Michael, that was different. Michael made it impossible for us not to like him. But the thing that surprised me the most is when the first time I saw Billy and Michael together, they looked like a couple. A gay couple. I didn't know I knew one, or knew that I knew of one. But Billy and Michael, they just surprised me.
I was a little less impressed with Michael than my husband was. On the outside, I'm very outgoing, but on the inside, I'm careful. Especially when it comes to my children. I don't like seeing them do things they're gonna regret later. It's awful not being able to save them. Not being able to save them from themselves. And I didn't trust Michael. I was scared that Billy was going to get hurt. And you could tell that Billy thought the world of Michael. The way that he would laugh at the things he would say or look at me full of hope, hoping I'd like Michael. Well, one night, we were sitting around having dinner, and I got up to see about dessert. And when I turned around, I saw that Billy and Michael were holding hands. I was so busy worrying that I'd never imagined Billy holding hands with another man. I I didn't say much the rest of that evening.
Something I never told Billy, although I think it was pretty obvious, was I was pretty nervous the first time I met Michael. With Billy's sister Barbara, it's always the same thing. I had to hate the guy. Because if I liked him too much, she'd run off and leave him. But if I hated the guy, he'd be marrying her next week. But Billy, he was just different. I mean, it was like he was a teenager again, dating for the first time. And I was a parent. It's all very, very confusing. We were all adults in the room, but for some reason, nobody knew what we were doing.
We live in a place where people just aren't in our exact situation. People don't celebrate gay pride here in the summer. It's not one of the big holidays. But people celebrate other things. They take their kids to the swimming pool, go to baseball games. Farmers wave with one finger. Kids sell lemonade on the side of the road. It's all just pretty normal here. And Billy grew up that way too. It's like he belonged here. You know, sometimes it feels like he's dead. Not to me, but to the people in my town. They just slowly stopped asking about him. You know, sometimes I sit in church and look around and wonder if anybody in my church is gay. I wonder what they would do if somebody wanted to get married right here. Someone who was gay. I mean, Billy's the first one to tell you that relationships aren't easy. One time, Billy called in the middle of the night and my heart shot up to my throat. Nobody calls with good news in the middle of the night. Him and Michael had gotten into a terrible fight. Micah ran out to get some air and Billy got to the street just in time to see Michael get hit by a car going the wrong way down their one-way street. Billy was crying and he was calling from the hospital.
No, Mom, you're not listening. They won't let me in to see him. They won't let me be with Michael.
That's why Billy was crying. Someone who didn't know those boys said that he couldn't get in because he wasn't family. He was all worked up, you know. And I didn't know what to say. I told him what my mom had always told me. Things will be better in the morning. Things are always better in the morning. But he was completely undone. It was a side of Billy I hadn't seen since he was a little boy. That messy, out-of-control side.
Have you forgiven me for being gay, Mom?
I told him the truth. I'd forgiven him a long time ago. It was me I haven't forgiven.
Of course, we blamed ourselves. I mean, most parents would. You know, I had this thought that maybe we got the wrong kid. I mean, how could he have came from us? Then one day it hit me. We didn't get the wrong kid. Maybe he just got the wrong parents. I mean, call me old-fashioned. Take this marriage thing, for instance. I mean, something about it just doesn't seem right. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Take his picture and put it in the newlyweds? I mean, what am I supposed to tell my friends to send him? An electric can opener or a toaster?
When Billy and Michael first started talking, I was very careful not to say anything negative. But secretly I was saying, at least they can't really get married. At least we don't have to deal with that too. And then all of a sudden you couldn't turn around without seeing something in the news about San Francisco or Massachusetts. Things were just going too fast. We were exactly the same, but the world was completely different. And I didn't know what to do. Billy called one day and he said that him and Michael were thinking seriously about getting married to each other. I tried to say something about Barbara's kids, but he interrupted me. He said that, would you come to my wedding if I paid for your plane ticket? And I said, why do you have to get married? Why can't you do one of those civil union things?
Mom, I guess we don't want to be silly. We want to be outrageous. We want to be passionate. We want to be married.
Billy!
I'm not asking for your permission, Mom. I'm asking you to come to my wedding.
I couldn't breathe. What about Michael's parents? What did they say?
No?
There was a long pause and then
No,
he said
they
it
said
again.
no.
I stood there, alone. Billy and Michael had wandered away from the crowd and they were kissing. There was this light all around them. Yellow, squiggly lines. It wasn't the sun. It was their happiness.
Barbara and her mother have always had their problems. I mean, I don't know what you call it. Complicated, I guess. The problem is they're too similar. But Barbara sees her mother as her mother. I think their problem is they're too much alike. I mean, but don't tell my wife that, she'll blow a gasket. You know, Barbara and I have never had that problem. Something with fathers and daughters, I guess. But one thing I've learned after living with my wife for so long is I know when she's in one of her moods. And when she's in one of those moods, just stay out of the way. It's the same thing with my wife, my daughter. When they're in their moods, stay out of the way. I just step back, I become invisible.
It still irritates me how my husband just disappears whenever I need him. Barbara will be on her high horse about something, and I'd love to deal with her all by myself. I'm looking for my husband, for support, and he disappears right when I need him. And just try having a normal conversation with Barbara. We're complete opposites. She loves to argue about everything, and I hate to argue. And she knows that I hate to argue. And when I won't argue back, she says how angry I am, and then I get angry. I worry that I'm harder on her than I am on Billy. But Billy moved away, or got away, as Barbara likes to remind me. I mean, I guess it's more natural for a mother to be more in awe of her son than her daughter. Mothers and daughters are just too equal. They're less of a mystery. We have 2 grandkids, a little girl and a little boy. I got a t-shirt for the little boy. It says, "My grandma went to San Francisco and all I got was this lousy t-shirt." I think he'll like it.
My father gave me this watch when I got married. He said, "Son, a good watch makes a good man." It's ran like a dream ever since I got it. It's only stopped twice. Once I was out there at Billy's thing. The other was at my daughter's wedding. It stopped right as I was about to walk her down the aisle. You know, I was just figured I was trying to stop time for a moment. You know, getting old, it's not as fun as you think. But I look at my kids and I see they're getting older. Then I realize I must be getting older too.
Things between us and Barbara's husband were difficult from the beginning. Barbara got a kick out of that. I hope she didn't marry him just to spite us. I hate seeing my kids do things they're gonna regret later. It's awful not being able to save them. Not being able to save them from themselves. But she was determined to marry him, and I guess I was determined to let her. At Barbara's wedding, I remember Billy came through shaking everybody's hands, and when he got to Barbara, they held on real close. I was kind of jealous of how close they were. But in a way, I guess they realized that this is the end of their childhood. And in a way, it was the first time I'd ever felt old.
Barbara and the kids picked us up from the airport when we got back from California. I was so excited to get to my little house, eat my little bed, and read my little newspaper.
Barbara looks tired. Pretty, but tired. Thinking I'm being nice, I comment on my granddaughter's short hair, and Barbara quickly reminds me that I've said something wrong. That she just took a pair of scissors and chopped off her ponytail for no good reason. And my granddaughter's in the back seat smoothing down her short hair, saying how she likes it short, and how all the kids at school think her hair's cool. And my grandson's in the back seat repeating everything she says. Everyone at school thinks her hair is cool. Well, Barbara got a kick out of that. Now, my husband fell asleep snoring in the back seat. He was looking out the window.
My wife thinks I'm asleep, but I can hear everything being said.
I've never heard Barbara use the word divorce before. I mean, I know her and John have had their share of problems, but...
You know, I've never understood why people get divorced. I mean, really, what happens after divorce? I mean, who do you talk to? Who do you spend your time with?
When Barbara says that word divorce for the first time, it makes me feel sick inside. Barbara's talking about divorce like it ain't anything special. Like if you turn down the radio, you'll think she's talking about something she saw on the radio. You know, I'm trying to listen to what she says, but I I miss most of what she says. I didn't know what to do. She just started crying. And there was this long pause. Even the kids were quiet. I asked her if she was okay, and she just nodded her head and turned on the radio.
I'm fiddling with my watch when we turn onto the highway that goes to our two-lane road that goes to the house. The little one, he's wiggling out of his seatbelt, was trying to sit in my lap and pull my ears, so I'll stick my tongue out. It's a game we've played since he was a kid. Then my granddaughter, she is reading a book she found in our basement called Valley of the Dolls. The car suddenly swerved. Barbara and my wife scream, and then we hear the flat sound of something hitting the car. Hard. This all happened like that. So I get out of the car, and I follow this short blood trail where there's this massive deer laying on the road. We had hit it head on, and it's dead. Nobody's hurt, we're just shaken up. But we made it home. I kissed the sidewalk leading up to the front porch. Kids just thought I was being funny.
First thing I did was call Billy and let him know that we were okay. I can't tell you how much sleep I've lost worrying about my kids, hoping they were home, safe in bed. I think about Billy and wonder if he's in bed with Michael. And then when I think about Barbara, I wonder if John's in her bed. But it seems like I'll have to work on cutting him out of that picture too.
Barbara wanted to return to talk to Michael on the phone. No, they talked so well to each other. He would say something funny and she would die laughing. There it is. My daughter is talking to my son's husband. Well, this is my family. My parents would have never believed this.
I was on the extension. I knew I should have hung up the phone, but I didn't. I just stood there holding my breath, scared of getting caught, but unable to hang up the phone. I just wanted to know what they said when they thought I wasn't listening.
How long did that do? They were great. They seemed scared, but they were there, you know. I wish you could have been there too.
I would. I wanted to.
Barb, you still there?
Can I call you back in a little bit? I need to get home. I need to get the kids in bed. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, sure. You sure you're okay?
Did Mom look old to you?
No. Mom looks beautiful. Mom looks like Jackie Kennedy and Elizabeth Taylor, just like she always did.
I don't know if that's what they really said, but that's what I wanted to hear. But I hung up the phone before I could hear the rest.
As I go to bed, turn off all the lights in the house. My shadow getting smaller and smaller. The house getting darker and darker. The last light that I have to turn out is the porch light. And out the great big picture window, all I can see is stars. We hadn't seen any stars out in San Francisco.
I'm laying here next to my husband. My heart's still beating in that other time zone. I guess in a way I did leave my heart in San Francisco. I think about my kids. I think about Billy and how he might be in bed with Michael. And I wonder if Barbara's in bed with John tonight. My husband's taking long and deep breaths. I'm amazed at how he can sleep through anything. The only other sound now is the ticking of his watch. I guess it started working again. So time hasn't stopped, and the world goes on. All right. You have to hear the whole story.
Go ahead.
All right, so this guy, Jack, he wrote a letter to his mother that said, "Dear mother, I'm not saying you did take the gravy ladle, and I'm not saying you did not take the gravy ladle, but the fact remains that the gravy ladle has been missing since you came over for dinner."
What happened to the gravy ladle?
Nothing. All right, so a couple days later, he gets a letter back, and it said, "Dear Jack, I'm not saying you do sleep with Rob, and I'm not saying you do not sleep with Rob, but the fact remains that if you were sleeping in your own bed, you would have found that gravy ladle by now."
Oh, we won't wake him up. Trust me. He can sleep through anything. Elections, emergencies. He's amazing. My husband. Hey, Barb. Shh.
I just can't believe she died, you know?
No, I can't.
Well, screw her! Screw her for dying! Screw her for not telling us!
Barb.
She knew she was dying, Billy, and she didn't tell us!
I mean, maybe she had her reasons.
But she died, so we're gonna never get to know the reasons! That's just so like her! I mean, Jesus! Jesus. Thank you for letting me come, for the plane ticket. I just needed to be around someone that I didn't have to explain everything to. I almost forgot. I got pictures of you. Not of you, for you. Of the kids. This one's Jen, right before she dyed her hair. Thank God. But after the nose ring. And this one's Ryan. I think he looks just like you.
Do you love them both?
You mean, do I love him equally? Nope. Ryan's easier to love. But I don't think I love him more than I love Jen. Easier isn't always better.
Do you think he's gay?
I don't know. He doesn't share. Too bad, Miss America. One time, Mom sat him down and told him about every pet she'd ever had and how they all died. She was so gentle with him. She was never that gentle with me. And then later on that night, I asked her if she thought that he reminded her of you. And she said that she knew what I was really asking. And that she doesn't look at every kid and wonder which ones were gay. She said she doesn't worry about the kids. It's the mothers that she worries about.
Well, what would you do?
If he was gay,
Yeah.
I'd worry about him. But I'd worry about him if he was straight, too.
Yeah.
It's a mother's job. When you were little, did you know that you were gay?
I didn't know there was a name for it. But I had feelings. There was this guy, Jason
Jason Barrett?
Jason Barrett, yeah.
You had a crush on Jason Barrett? I had a crush on Jason Barrett.
Well,
I love you.
I love him.
Really?
Yeah, I even figured out a way to get him alone so I could kiss him.
You never told me that. Wasn't he older than you?
He was a year ahead of me in school.
I didn't know you liked older men.
He was not. Anyway, I kissed him with my eyes open. Strangest look on his face. I thought it was the look of love. But he pulled away and said that kiss and kill were almost the same word. Then he beat the shit out of me.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have kicked his ass.
That's probably why I didn't tell you. But anyway, I didn't kiss another boy for a long time after that.
Well, that would do it.
No, I saw him at Mom's funeral.
It's kind of bad, yeah?
Yeah. I also saw his wife, Linda.
Linda.
She sent me one of those online grief cards, e-sympathy. She told me that she was so sorry for Mom's loss. And that although she doesn't agree with my lifestyle, she knows God loves me, so she loves me too.
Well, isn't that a relief? You know, people in small towns need people like you and me.
What do you mean?
We're the kooks, the freaks, the weirdos. People need us so they can feel better about their awful lives.
I don't think you're a weirdo.
No, I'm just a freak.
I think you're being hard on yourself.
Well, I wasn't asking for your pity.
I wasn't offering you any.
You know, I was always the real black sheep of the family.
Yeah, right.
Don't rewrite the family history. I was the black sheep. You were just gay.
Just gay?
Interrated as an error, by the way. When you came out to Mom and Dad, suddenly I seemed normal, which I hated because I didn't want to be normal. And suddenly Mom and Dad treated me more like them than you were, which pissed me off because I was nothing like Mom and Dad. Well, now seems like a good time to give you your last present. Sorry I didn't wrap it.
Homosexuality is something you're born with. Like red hair or a dead twin. Jesus Christ.
What seems funny in the middle of the night. Maybe you could sell it on eBay.
I would sell it. You know, I always thought my dad would die first.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just don't think he'll be able to get along without Mom.
I mean, I don't think I'll be able to take care of him either.
Nobody's asking you to take care of him.
Really?
He's not that old, Barb.
Neither was Mom. He stopped wearing his watch.
Well, my God, he's had that thing forever.
No, he says he lost it.
Well, people lose things.
No, at the funeral I saw him slip it into Mom's casket.
You probably saw it wrong.
Why are you being so stupid? I told you what I saw. Why would I make that up?
Why would he say he lost it?
I don't know. Why did Mom not tell us she was dying? I don't know. How would she keep that secret from us?
Well, I mean, you act like we didn't keep our secrets from her.
Don't confuse me with the facts, Billy. I've made up my mind anyway, and that's not the point. I can't see how you're not pissed that she didn't tell us.
I didn't say I'm not pissed.
Well, are you?
Obviously, you want me to be pissed.
No.
Well,
Not if you're not pissed. I just don't see how you can't be.
so I should be pissed because you're pissed.
She lied to us.
She didn't lie. She just didn't tell the truth.
Oh, Christ.
What? Sometimes lying and not telling the truth are two completely different things.
Well, that's something you should know all about.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you tell me first? Why'd you tell me you were gay?
Because I trusted you more.
Well, it was a burden keeping your secret from everyone.
Barb, I was a kid, and I was scared. I had to know that somebody was going to love me.
Loved you? Loved you? God, Billy, of course we loved you. The golden son, even after you left.
I didn't
We even
leave.
loved you even more. And yes, you did leave. You left me. You left me to do with Mom and Dad all by myself.
I was just trying to live my life, Barb.
Well, lucky you. While you were off living your life, I was left to do the dirty work.
What dirty work?
Somebody had to take care of Mom and Dad. Do you think they just grew up by themselves? Do you think they would have ever...
Would have what?
It was hard work, Billy. Time stopped whenever you got there, and it wouldn't start again until you left. Mom and Dad filled everything they didn't know about you with gold instead of cement.
I mean, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Say that she's not really dead. Say that my kids aren't gonna hate me and they won't hate me when they're older. Say that you're not gonna disappear out of my life. Say that being single with 2 kids doesn't mean I'll never have sex again, and if I do, say I'll enjoy it. I don't know. Say that I remind you of Julia Roberts and not Julia Childs. Say it. Say it.
You remind me of Julia Roberts, not Julia Child. That's not hard.
I tried to send out announcements about the divorce, but John wouldn't pay for half. I was just as happy to marry him as I was to divorce him.
What happened between you and the asshole? Oh, John.
Nothing. And that's the problem. I was literally bored to tears. The last straw was when I was on the phone with the gas company and I was listening to the recorded music, and I just started crying. And I finally realized it's because I was bored.
Well, do you and John ever talk?
I mean, about the kids, but he's off having fun being single. I like him more now that I don't have to love him. I guess that's a step in the right direction. But you never really get over your first liar.
Nope.
What about you and Michael? How are the happy newlyweds?
We're not married.
What?
Legally. The courts took all the licenses. They took our membership, put them in a box, and threw the key away.
That's funny. You want to be in the club and they won't let you in, and I don't want to be in the club and they won't let me out.
You know, Barb, I like having a piece of paper. I don't know why. I just liked having it.
I mean, you're still together, right? I mean, screw the government. They're a bunch of hypocrites.
You're the best sister ever, my hero.
Too much pressure. Just say I'm pretty.
I cheated on Michael.
What? Oh my god.
I fucked up. I mean, he knows. Everybody knows.
Are you gonna be okay?
I mean, I hope so. I really do love him. But, I was just being nice to this stranger, and, I don't understand how I can be nice to somebody and hurt the person I love the most.
So you're not perfect. What a relief.
Well, I don't feel much relief.
Not to you, and to me. It's a relief to me that you're not perfect.
I'm not. Hey, did you call Dad?
Oh, I forgot. Ryan, I'll have homework.
Hey, Dad. It's Billy. Bill? Oh, crap. I'm sorry, Dad. Time difference.
No,
Yeah, she got here. She's good. She's great. You want to talk to her? Here she is.
Dad, hey! Did you get the food I set out for you? No, just put it in the microwave for 5.5 minutes. Did Ryan get to school okay? No, he's not very cheerful in the morning. How about Jen? Has she been by? What? How big is it? Oh, Christ. Did you tell her it was the stupidest thing she's ever done? Jen got a tattoo. Well, I can't think of a stupider thing, could you? Fine, I'll deal with her when I get home. You want to say goodnight to Billy? All right, thanks, Dad. Love you.
Hey, Dad. I will. Good night, Dad. I love you. Bye.
I wasn't much older than Jen when I had my abortion and I get all bent out of shape because she gets a tattoo. How did Mom do it? How did she survive me? All right. She did. I'm still fighting with her. When I was waiting for you at the airport, I just sat on my suitcase and fought with her. I feel like I can still deal with her death as long as I'm still fighting with her about it. I was around her every day. How did I miss it?
Well, I'm sure she didn't want us to see it.
Okay, but why? Surprised you lugged that thing all the way up here.
Well, it's the only thing I ever truly wanted. Dad got us those U.S. savings bonds.
Oh, believe me, I cashed mine a long time ago.
Well, Dad got us the $50 U.S. savings bonds. Mom got us this box.
It's a hope chest. You give it to somebody when they get married. Not that it did any good.
What was in yours?
Oh, the joys of cooking, a book of baby names, in case I didn't know how much you wanted grandkids, a necklace from Grandma, usual. How about you?
Well, there's this picture that I apparently drew of myself when I was a kid.
Why do you have yellow hair?
I don't know, can't remember. Then there's a picture of me and Michael at our wedding. Then there's this piece of paper with Mom's handwriting.
It's a receipt.
Turn it over.
Happiness is what you can bear. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know, can't figure it out myself. Barb, do you think Mom was happy?
I guess in her own way. But I think she was sad too. No, if she didn't tell us everything, how do we know that she told Dad everything? I don't even know if she believed in God. Billy, tell me a story about Mom.
Well, it's a wedding invitation. Anyone can see. It came mixed in the mail with a newsletter from our church and a Visa bill. It was the only envelope with a handwritten address. It had one of those love stamps on it. My son, he used to collect love stamps. He said that if he could go there one day, if someone sent him one from a foreign country.
Billy,
Yeah,
are you okay?
not really. But I will be.
When?
I don't know.
In the morning?
I hope so. He probably wouldn't want me to tell you this, but for years, I kept a picture he drew of himself when he was a little boy.